So 8,000 naira may not be too much money to some people, but it's a lot to so many other people who are very poor families who don't see 8,000 naira every month. So the only
go set go Tinubu on your mandate, we shall stand. For those of now when be like say una dey clap and dey shout, they follow Kabas president-elect Bola Ahmed Tif Tinubu, my people. John go never mature. Una never even start to the jog. Neither una want dey run. Breast don dey fall, dey come out for inside brazier. Una remember during the time of Fela, they always talk and say, suffering and smiling, na be waiting Nigerians they go through. Well, guys, the reason why I come here now concerning this fuel subsidy removal, when I remember during the time of inauguration, when Bola Ahmed Tif Tinubu talk say there is no more subsidy, fuel subsidy, he don't remove anything when concern fuel subsidy for Nigeria. Him don't remove, and the old Nigerians they call they happy. They not say they want from fry pan enter fire. You understand now? Well, my people, without wasting una time, the reason why they talk like this, when I remember during the time of Buhari leave fuel price at the price of 198 naira. Fuel now 1 liter now is 617 naira, almost 1k, almost 700 naira. Because for some state now that they buy 1 liter for 700 naira. So where are we going now? Meanwhile, the current governor of Nasarawa state, Abdullahi Mumu Sule, make una come here waiting in talk concerning this palliative issue when they cause saga buzzwords for inside social media. So, and meanwhile, Bola Ahmed Tif Tinubu, him don't go borrow 800 million US dollars. Not the naira, 800 million US dollars. This one na money will be like say, man, they go share them to each state. If na bosses, so they want invest and they don't invest and put for transportation, use this money to build factories. So make sure say the common masses they go get something where they go they do. They say they want to distribute 8,000 naira. And una forget say for that same Nigeria, for that same country Nigeria, some people don't be like say at the age of 30 something, 40, they don't even get account. Not to talk or say they don't. I don't understand Nigeria. This man said this Mumu Sule, he said this 8k go a long way for some Nigerians, for all Nigerians. He don't even say for some. Why not they deceive on ourselves? Una never say anything. Una no say I tell una yes say this Bola Ahmed Tif Tinubu regime, it go worse past Mohammed Ijubreo. Una say na Lion picking go and sit down. I read comment. I remember that very day when I post that video. A lot of una insult me for the comment section. When my people making up be like say I too talk, neither I too waste una time. But make una watch this full video. Meanwhile, while watching, make una like, comment, make una not fail to let me share this video. Why I go see you now for the next update coming out soon.
First and foremost, let me go back to the point you mentioned about whether 8,000 naira is anything or 8,000 naira is nothing. We were sharing only 5,000 naira, and believe me, every month, and believe me, there were so many people that were waiting for that 5,000 naira every month. And indeed, there were some communities that were able to do some kind of contributions, you know, and they were able to do a lot in their various communities. So 8,000 naira may not be too much money to some people, but it's a lot to so many other people who are very poor families who don't see 8,000 naira every month. So the only thing is that let us identify those families. Now, going back to the other point that I keep saying about sustainability, remember, this 8,000 naira will not be forever. It's just going to be for a certain period of time. But removal of subsidy is going to be much longer than the period for the payment of this money. Because if you calculate that money is going to last only a certain number of months, you know, so there is debate on that, whether it's going to be 6 months, 7 months, 5 months, and the rest of that. You know, so that's why I'm talking about sustainability. Number two, let me tell you another big issue that we have. You know, in this country, we are saying that we're spending so much because NMPC said we are subsidizing 65 million liters a day. Now, from what you have seen, this delivery has reduced greatly, and the consumption also has reduced significantly. So now we are no longer spending that kind of money. So the subsidy amount available may not be the same as we were saying when it was 65 million liters daily. So that is the aspect of this sustainability that we are talking about.
there are issues raised by the governors, some of your colleagues, about the National Social Register. But perhaps it might be some of the new governors that are coming who don't have an idea of the source of these national register and the history and how they came about. I assume, Your Excellency, because from what we know and from what the Social Safety Net Office is saying, they have said that the National Social Register is something that had an oversight of the State Operating Coordinating Unit that was coordinated by the state planning ministries. And it was in fact developed by the state government, handed over and cleaned up by the national government under the Buhari government. That is the explanation about the National Social Register. And Governor Sule, this is what these office has said, which is the office under the Humanitarian Ministry. They've said that the National Social Register is the most credible database of the poor Nigerian household. Is this information available to your colleagues?
But okay, this is it. I think if you remember, we had this idea about social register and we had the debate, especially when a governor will be sitting and then you will hear that Federal Ministry of Agri had come in to distribute money for something using the social register. The Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs had come in. So the idea of saying that the new governors are not aware of it, no, I don't think that's the case, because some of us also were new governors when we came in 2019, and at that time, there was a social register. So some of us also inherited the social register. Now, of course, it has been updated and some more beneficiaries were added, between 2019 to date. But what I'm telling you is that it is not the state government that prepared the social register. They are prepared actually, at the states by the representatives of some of those ministries. That's what happened. Because when they came in to do this social register, yes, we were asked as a state, to say that we should give account of some of the people we know that will be incorporated into this social register, but not everything was left in the hands of the state to prepare what a social register was. And I'm talking of the updating. I'm not talking even of the inherited ones.
So there were issues with the National Social Register as operated under the Buhari government. Is that what the NEC has found out?
Yeah, there are issues, and I think that's the reason why not only the new governors, even the two-term governors, who are there, or maybe the governors who have been there from 2019 to date, even some of us are also complaining about but we are not saying that it should be discarded. What we are just saying that we should look into that, and then if there are areas of amendment, to amend them, because sometimes here in Nasarawa State, I see a lot of people that shouldn't have been on that social register actually collecting the funds, and I see a lot of people who should benefit from that, and they are not there. So you have that.
Isn't that an indictment on the Buhari government if that National Social Register that was widely used to disburse billions of naira over 7 years, and that is an APC government, isn't that an indictment on that government of the APC?
Not really. The government will have good intentions. The government will come up with a policy. The government will try to drive the policy. But along the line, you can find some officials of government that actually have done one or two things that is wrong. But the whole idea about it is fantastic. Most of it is good. And I just told you that some people that we see here in Nasarawa State, it doesn't mean that everybody that was there is wrong. You have a lot of poor people that are always waiting for whatever will come using the social register, and people who are actually deserving to collect that. So it's just because you have some areas that you need to amend doesn't mean that it's an indictment and it should be discarded.
So, how can Nigerians then now trust whatever process of disbursing this money now?
We should use the social register. Nobody is arguing about that. We are going to use that, but what we are going to do is that to look at the social register as it is at the moment and try to see areas of, for instance, if you give it to involve the states can bring in the ministries and say that, okay, let's go. So the moment we go, to Lagos, and we are given this money, then we see Shewun on the line, we can say, no, Shewun doesn't qualify. You know, so those are the kinds of things I'm talking about.
So what is there a uniform way? You will still use the national register, but the state government will now be the one to operate it. Is that the case now?
No, but that's what we're asking. You know, it is not always the case. As I said, you know, those federal